Hello and welcome to Perchance to Dram. We are once more onto the breach with Sugar House Rye Whiskey from Sugar House Distillery in Salt Lake City. But you say the bottle is already open. Uh, this is because I originally filmed a video and my phone died. I'm not very good at keeping it charged, and it died and the video was lost. So I've had a few pours since then, so I already kind of have first impressions, but we'll see if those have changed or remain the same. Sugar House Distillery is in the Sugar House district of Salt Lake, and yeah, they have bourbon and single malt, and then they also make some neutral grain spirits as well. And they have a very grain to glass kind of philosophy, sourcing their grains from within, a certain radius of Salt Lake, and then, everything in house, nothing sourced here or anything, which is a pretty good philosophy, I'd say. So why don't we just look over the bottle? Fermented, distilled, barreled, and bottled. Very handsome bottle as well. A little bit Wild West, Old West type bottle. Very cool. Label. Handcrafted in the Wasatch Mountains. It is 46% alcohol by volume. The team at Sugar House Distillery takes these words seriously. Handcrafted in the Wasatch Mountains. Made in small batches, our distillers start with a mash bill of 100% regionally sourced rye. Full of flavor and complexity, we barrel our rye whiskey in lightly charred New American oak, never chill filter, and bottle at 92 proof with the purest mountain water. Enjoy this distinctive whiskey served neat or mixed in your favorite classic cocktails. The mash bill is 90% rye, 10% malted rye. They even have the yeast strain here, which is their own yeast strain. And then it says batch 12. Okay. Oh. So, spelt, like the bread thing you put on like dough. A lot of that. Whatever that is. Is that just bread? Powdered bread? I don't know. But I get that here. It's got a very high nose. The nose starts very high up in those. Not super complex on the nose. Yeah, just again, that dough. My mother, when I was very young, worked in a pizzeria called Katerina's. And being in the kitchen and like the dough smell, and then, they'd have those big like buckets of cheese, right? It's kind of reminding me of that. Cold dough. Get a little bit of that typical rye spice coming in. Very little bit. Let's launch. So on the palate and the finish is where I think this whiskey really shines. Starts off with that doughy graininess. Then I get like sloe berry. If you've ever had like sloe berry gin, very good kind of tart berry. A little bit of baking spices, and the finish moves a bit into tiny bit of like smoke, like pipe tobacco smoke. It's really good. I would compare this in its profile a little bit to the Balcones rye that I'll link in the link up there. Whereas the Balcones kind of is a little bit weirder and meanders around a lot, and you get leaves and all that. This has got a bit less complexity and a bit more of a tighter package of different notes that you get. However, I do prefer this because I think it's quite delicious, and I mean, it kind of feels like something that you would see somebody drinking in Deadwood or sometime in the Old West, but modern enough that it's accessible And I'm not just saying that it's better than the Balcones because it's from Utah. For those who don't know, I am also half a Texan and damn proud of it. So, all right, Sugar House Rye Whiskey. I will probably be wanting to visit this distillery in the near future. I think it's got a lot of potential, and I'll definitely be picking up a few bottles of their bourbon and single malt as well. I give it 5 Jackie Biskupiskis out of more than 5 Jackie Biskupiskis.